Hello again and welcome to my very poorly lighted room. This is Engage on a Shelf. Trees! Now I have been using trees. I've been using these ready-made things. They're not cheap. So what I thought I'd do is have a go at making some trees. So for Christmas, you notice I got all my props ready for me this time. So for Christmas I asked for a box of Seafoam Trees. I'd seen people making them on YouTube and I thought, I've never done that, so why don't I have a try? So my son ordered this box off the internet, £27 for the contents of this. And he said when he got it, he had to open it up to make sure there was actually something in it, because it weighs nothing. Now I don't exactly know what seafoam is. I've seen it, but I don't know what it is. So if I open the box, you pull out something like this, which weighs absolutely nothing. I presume it's a plant out of the sea. So I was watching this guy doing it, and I couldn't see quite how he was doing it. So the first thing you do obviously is to trim this so that you've got a bit of a trunk at the bottom. So this end would have to come off. Then you spray it brown. Then he sprayed it with something else. And then, just to prove I'm not entirely ready, and once you've sprayed it with this other thing, you pour on this scatter material and it sticks. Now I don't have an airbrush, he was using an airbrush, so what I've got is a tin of brown spray paint, and I will simply give this a quick going over and make sure that the trunk is brown, and that's really about it. I'm not going to go overboard, because he didn't with his airbrush anyway, he just gave it a quick squirt. But when it came to the glue that he was using, that he was spraying on, I couldn't quite see what it was. And I had to watch a couple of his videos before I finally spotted what was in this can. And it's Bristow's. It's hairspray. So what he was doing was he'd stick 4 of these into a piece of polystyrene, spray them brown, and obviously leave that to dry. Then he'd spray it with a hairspray, and then he'd pour that stuff on top and it would stick. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Now I've got a box full here. The question is how tall should these be? Well, in this scale, a 100-foot tree is 8 inches tall. So if I just snip off that bit off the side there, give myself a trunk. This is roughly, off the top of my head, thick end of 9.5 inches tall. Yeah, it's not 10, is it? It's about 9.5 inches. So bearing in mind that some of this will be going into the board, because once it's complete, you just drill a little hole in the board, pop in some glue and push this in. So I need to calculate, might have to trim a little bit off the bottom. So the tallest I will go is 8 inches. Most of them are going to be in the 4 to 6 inch range, and they should look a lot better than these. So what do you do with the offcuts? Well, the bits that you cut off, you make shorter trees and bushes with them, quite simply. I don't know how many I'll get out of this. They look they're a bit flat from being in the box, so I'm going to have to tease these out and try and get them back to a sort of a roundish shape if I can. I don't know how many's in there, but I should be able to make something far cheaper than the ready-mades. I got myself a spray booth, a cardboard box with the front cut off, so I can do all my spraying in there. The stuff that doesn't stick to the tree when you pour it on, you simply put back in the bag and reuse. quite funny in here doing this. You're putting all the scatter on the scenery and you leave it for about 4 hours to dry, and then you come out with your hoover it up, put the remainder back in the bag and keep using it over and over again until it's all gone. I'm not going to show the process of me actually spraying this lot and doing it. I'm just going to show you the results. So until then, this video will go on pause for a week or two till we get to the second part. And I do have to get the trees in now, in the back, get the back done. So I'm not doing anything else on the layout for a couple of weeks until I've done all of these. So hang on a little bit. Well, here's the finished product. I've used 2 shades of green, a dark green and a lighter green. I don't know whether I got unlucky with the box or not, but I seem to have an awful lot of ends without too many good stout branches. That's one of the flat ones, so I've put that up against the back scene. There's one that's decided to break. They are so delicate. You apply any pressure on these and they will snap. They're not great, but it does give you a decent variety of tree. Different shapes, different sizes. Still got about half a box left. They're all sprayed brown and ready to go. And I got some odds and ends left over, which I can make shorter things with. But as I say, the trunks are so tiny, they're very difficult to hold. They just break in your fingers as you're trying to put them into the board. But they do look pretty decent. Now I did take some of these trees out later, simply because they didn't quite look right. But as a cost per tree, they've worked out a lot better. And that's the next batch ready to go in.